StayWavyTV. Hit subscribe and keep the pace.
Good, y'all. We officially have an F1 movie sequel on the way. This is my favorite movie to come out this year. The movie stars Brad Pitt and Damson Idris. And basically, Brad Pitt is playing an older F1 driver who many people, look at as washed up and past his prime. Damson Idris is playing a rookie driver who's on the come up, who's pretty much, fighting his way into another contract with the team, because if he doesn't perform well, ultimately, he'll be dropped from the team. He'll lose some endorsement deals. So even though these guys are on the same team, they hate each other. And that's actually how F1 racing is for real. Like, I enjoyed this movie so much that I actually started watching F1 racing. And when you look at Team Ferrari, who has Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton, right? It's obvious that these guys hate each other, right? Charles Leclerc, who's the younger driver who's still establishing himself in the sport of F1, like, he's so competitive that we've actually seen him sabotage Lewis Hamilton. Like, for example, right? Lewis Hamilton will be driving and he's about to pass Charles Leclerc, right? And Charles Leclerc will purposefully cut him off and stop his own teammate from getting in front of him, because he doesn't want his own teammate to get in a higher place than him, because he doesn't want people to think that he's better than him. Even though Lewis Hamilton is already, many people already look at this guy as the greatest F1 driver of all time, right? He's a 7-time F1 champion, you know what I'm saying? But Charles Leclerc, he wants people to look at him like he's the guy. In this movie F1, when you look at the characters Brad Pitt and Damson Idris plays, it really breaks down how these teams work, man. They show you how they design the cars, how the drivers work with the technicians to suit the car for the best of their ability so they can perform and potentially win the race. And yeah, man, like, these teammates, bro, in F1, bro, a majority of them, they hate each other. It's not because it's anything personal. It's because it's competitive, right? Both guy wants to be the #1 driver for the team, and whoever is the #1 driver, that's the driver that's going to get paid more. You're going to get more endorsement deals. And whoever the second driver is, if you're not performing well, then there's a chance that you're going to get dropped from the team. You're going to lose endorsement deals. You're going to lose sponsorships. And eventually, you might even just get out of the sport as a whole, right? So let's get into it. It says the director of the highest grossing movie of Brad Pitt's career has confirmed that they are working on the idea for a sequel, F1 the movie, sped in the theaters this summer, grossing $631 million worldwide and receiving generally strong reviews. The action sports movie follows veteran Formula One racer Pitt coming out of retirement and crashing with his team's rookie driver, who's played by Damson Idris. F1 also stars Kerry Condon, Tobias Menzies, and Javier Bardem. Directed by Joseph Kosinski from a screenplay written by Erin Kruger, Kosinski is the director of Tron Legacy, Oblivion, and Only the Brave, but his career was launched forward when he helmed the 2022 Legacy sequel and Best Picture nominee Top Gun Maverick, cementing him as a highbrow action filmmaker. In an interview with Variety, Kosinski shared that an F1 follow-up is being discussed with Apple. We're in that stage of just kind of dreaming up what the next chapter for Sunny Hayes would be and for Apex GP. But, based on the reaction from around the world to this movie, it's something that people want to see. I'd be happy to go back and do it because we had so much fun making this one, the director said. Now, hold on. So what I was hoping that they would do in the sequel is, you follow Joshua Pierce and you see Joshua Pierce officially be the #1 driver who wins the championship or wins the race for his team. Because in the first movie, right, it was centered around Sunny Hayes, who's older, right, who's still stuck in his ways, and he's basically competing with a kid that's half his age that just got into the sport. So I was hoping that the sequel would follow Joshua Pierce, who's played by Damson Idris, and we see how how things will play out with Joshua Pierce being the #1 driver on the team that ultimately wins the race. But from what the director is saying, the director is basically saying that they're gonna follow Sunny Hayes, I guess get into another race, you know what I'm saying? Because in the first movie, they pretty much said that he couldn't race anymore, right? He found a loophole to get back to actually finish the final race. But from the first movie, it looked like he wasn't going to be able to race no more. So Kosinski is directing the upcoming Miami Vice movie starring Michael B. Jordan and Austin Butler, which is slated for a 2026 release. He is also expected to return for Top Gun 3, with Kruger penning the script. The sequel will be especially exciting with Glenn Powell's return, as the Top Gun Maverick breakout star has become one of the biggest talents in action in recent years. That being said, the F1 sequel may be taking a backseat for some time until Kosinski's schedule clears up. Listen, take as much time as you need to for the F1 sequel. You know, F1, the movie was so perfect, bro. Like, if I was to rate this movie, I would give it a solid 9.5 out of 10. You know, I don't think that they should rush making the sequel, man, because to be honest, I think it's actually going to be pretty tough to follow up a sequel that outperforms the original one, if you want me to be honest. So, you know, take all the time you need, man. Brad Pitt is also busy, expected to star in several upcoming features, including currently filming The Adventures of Cliff Booth, the sequel to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the role for which Pitt won an Oscar, and the in development Ocean's 14. But working on other projects could give the premise for F1 sequel more time to gestate, allowing it a greater chance at eventual success. Coming up with a story idea that justifies a sequel is arguably the most important part of the process. Additionally, as F1 costed an estimated 250 to 300 million to make, the next movie needs to be strong to earn back. Also, it's also likely high budget. Now, when you guys actually watch this movie, when you look at the cinematography of the movie F1, you will see why the movie costed 250 to 3 million to make. Like, it's obvious that this was a very high budget film, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, the movie is very beautifully shot. And I'm telling you, man, like, this movie is so good that there's no way that you could watch F1 the movie and not want to watch an actual F1 race, because the sport is just dope, you know what I'm saying? But F1 was already a hit this year, and sequels have inherent advantage at the box office when people will come to see the continuation of a story they are already invested in. Warner Bros. And Apple Original Films stand to make even more money the next time around. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. If they can do the sequel to F1 properly, I actually think this movie could go over $1 billion at box office. I'm just being honest, right? Because you already have the fans who are already a fan of F1 racing, right? Those are the hardcore F1 fans. You know for a fact that they're going to see the movie, right? Then you have a new fan base that just watched F1 this year, and they're new fans of F1 as a sport, right? So you're combining the new fans from the success of the movie that did over 600 million, and you're combining that with the hardcore F1 fans. If they do this sequel the right way, this movie could do $1 billion at box office, in my opinion. I could see it happening, man. And I'm also expecting F1. I'm also expecting the movie to win an Oscar. I think the director is gonna win an Oscar, and I think either Brad Pitt or Damson Idris is gonna win an Oscar for their performances in this movie as well. So let's get into it. It says Warner Bros. And Apple Original Films stand to make even more money the next time around, despite facing another expensive production, as the studios look to expand this potential franchise. Yeah, this is going to be a franchise where I think that they're going to do at least 3 of these F1 movies, right? If all 3 of these movies like does good, what could happen is this F1 could be like the new Fast and Furious franchise. Like, you guys know how there's like 6 or 7 Fast and Furious movies? Like, the difference between Fast and Furious and F1 is based off of a real sport, right? It's not just street racing, right? Like, this is a real sport that is growing every year, right? F1, it's very popular in some countries, but over here in America, it's still growing, right? So these movies, these F1 movies, is only going to continue to grow the sport. And I think with each sequel, as long as they do it the right way and the movie is directed the right way and they have the right actors, I could easily see this movie like being around. Like, they could just continue this franchise forever. As long as the movie keeps doing well, we could fuck around and see 10 F1 movies. You know what I'm saying? So that's my predictions. Let me know what you guys think. Are you excited for an F1 sequel? Would you like to see Brad Pitt and Damson Idris return? And do you guys like the director's idea of focusing the sequel on Sonny Hayes, right? I much rather would see the sequel focus more on Joshua Pierce. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. It's your boy Wavy. Make sure y'all subscribe, thumbs up the video, share the video. Thank you guys for watching. I'm out.
Hey, what's up? If you love good vibes and fresh stories, make sure you hit that subscribe button right here on StayWavyTV. Drop a like, tap the bell so you don't miss a thing, and join the wave with us. I'll see you over there.